Hello friends and welcome back. So today I'm so proud to show you my ultra rich butter cake. And to do this we start by adding some unsalted butter into the mixer. Allow this to beat, then we start to drizzle in the sugar gently into the butter, and this is to allow it to aerate and for the butter to cream properly with the sugar. Once this has creamed a little bit, always stop the mixer just to scrape the sides of the bowl and also put it back to start beating. Then on the side, I start whisking my eggs. Some people like to drop their eggs directly into the mixing bowl. I found out over the years of baking that once you mix your eggs or you allow the eggs to get some air or to aerate the eggs, it always gives you a fluffier cake. So I beat the eggs together before then pouring them gently into the butter. I scrape down once again. It's very important to scrape the sides of your bowl. Put it again beating, and then I add some of my vanilla essence, and I love Lauren vanilla essence. And also to make it extra buttery, I also use the butter flavor. Then I start adding the eggs one at a time. You can add it up to 4 times. It all depends on what you want, but try not to overload the butter with all the eggs because it can make it to curdle. So what I do is I pour it once in maybe 1 in 3 times, or 3 pours. Just pour gently and allow the eggs to emulsify with the butter. We beat again. We'll then add the last batch of the egg and allow this to beat together. As this is beaten together, we will start sifting our dry ingredients, and that's our all-purpose flour. Sift the all-purpose flour with the baking powder. Also, I forgot to mention the butter that I used for this recipe. I used like half and half. So I used half unsalted butter and half salted butter. That was why I didn't need to add more salt to this recipe. After sifting your all-purpose flour on a parchment paper, we'll then gently start pouring the flour into the butter. And I always stop the mixer at this time. I just like to use my hand to whisk in or to mix in the butter, because the more you beat it, once the flour hits the butter, the gluten starts to form and your cake might become tough when you overbeat it. So that's why I always use my silicone spatula at this time. I also add some milk to help with the structure of the cake. Then I continue mixing with the silicone spatula before adding the rest or the second batch of the flour into the cake batter. I always like to start with the dry ingredients first, then the wet ingredients. So it's always like a 3-2. So 1 part flour, 1 part milk, second part flour, last part milk, and then the last part flour. That's how I like to bake my cakes. So with that, after I finish mixing with my hand with the silicone spatula, I'll then put it into, or I'll then use the mixer once more just to cream the cake and for it to just smoothen out. That's all. This I beat about 30 seconds. Okay, Our cake batter is ready to be poured into the cake pans, and mind you, I hope you've been preheating your oven at a 180 degrees Celsius with your cake pans all oiled and with a parchment paper in the bottom. And if you see how creamy, you can see how creamy the batter is. We then gently start to pour it into our cake pans, and since I want an even baking, I use my scale just to weigh out the cake batter to make sure that each is so that the two cake batters or the two cake pans have the same quantity of batter in it. This is to ensure even cooking, and also to help you when you're leveling the cake or you're torting the cake. This helps you to have a more even layered cake. Then after that, I smooth out the cake batter. I was looking for my offset spatula, I didn't see that, so I used the spoon to smooth out the batter, as you can see me do. And after we smooth this, I will then pop this into the oven to bake. Put this in the oven. After about 35 to 40 minutes, the cakes are cooked and they come out all very nice and beautiful. And if you see the cake, you can see how smooth the finishing is. It just browned perfectly, so this is what you should expect. Also, just to be extra sure, if you want to be sure, you can do the toothpick test. Insert the toothpick, and if it comes out clean, then your cake is all cooked. And also, by the time you see the cake start to leave the sides of the bowl, then you know that the cake is cooked. Alright guys, so this is it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video of how I make my ultra rich butter cake. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care then. Bye.